let's be real for a second. Talking about life insurance can feel, well, a little heavy, right? But what if we flip that on its head? What if we started thinking about it not as something for the end, but as a really powerful tool for protecting the amazing life you're building right now? So let's try and reframe that whole conversation together. To really get to the heart of this, we're going to follow the story of a family who thought they had it all figured out, that their future was totally secure until one simple realization changed absolutely everything. So let me introduce you to Raj and Mira. They're both 35, they've got great careers, a couple of wonderful kids, a home they adore, the whole package. Their two incomes cover everything from the mortgage to school fees and those fun family vacations. On the surface, it looks like they've built a rock-solid foundation.
And that's the big question, isn't it? When everything is going so well, it's just so easy to assume it's always going to be that way. But all those plans, those dreams, that feeling of security they had, how fragile was it really? That's the question they were about to face head-on.
You know how sometimes just one conversation, one simple idea can completely change your perspective on everything? Well, for Raj and Mira, a casual chat with a friend introduced a metaphor that was so simple, yet so powerful, that it shifted their entire view on financial planning. And this was it. This was the idea that just clicked. It's not about trying to predict if or when a storm is coming. It's about being ready for it, just in case. It's a proactive choice you make for peace of mind, not some reaction based on fear. And this simple metaphor, it became their guiding principle. So, if we run with that idea, we can just forget all the complicated financial jargon for a minute. At its heart, life insurance is just a tool. It's an umbrella. It's the thing that shields your family from the financial mess of an unexpected life event. Plain and simple, it's what keeps them dry when a storm hits. Okay, so with that simple metaphor in mind, Raj and Mira started to see how this umbrella could actually offer a bunch of different layers of protection. So now let's break down the 5 key areas they realized were absolutely crucial to making their family's future truly secure. All right, so the first and most obvious thing they zoned in on was protecting their incomes. I mean, in a modern family, it's pretty rare that just one person's salary is supporting everything. Their financial strength really came from being a team. See, for them, Raj's paycheck handled the big, reoccurring bills. Meanwhile, Mira's was the engine for their savings and all the kids' expenses. They realized that losing either of those incomes wouldn't just be a little setback, it would totally upend their way of life. That's why having that protection for both of them was so essential to keeping things stable. And that thought led them straight to the second big realization, protecting the roof over their heads. For most of us, our home isn't just where we live, it's our single biggest financial asset and our biggest responsibility. Their mortgage was totally manageable with 2 people working, but it would be a huge weight for just one person to carry. Then they learned a life insurance policy could just wipe out that debt entirely. Just gone. Can you imagine the relief? Knowing your family will always have their home, their friends, their school, no matter what happens? The next layer they thought about wasn't really about the present moment. It was about the promises we all make for the future. Like most parents, Raj and Mira had these huge dreams for their kids, especially when it came to their education. I mean, we all see the headlines about how quickly college costs are rising. Relying on your future income to pay for it is a plan that's really built on hope. Insurance, though, turns that hope into a guarantee. It basically creates a protected fund, making sure their kids' dreams of an education are safe and can actually happen, even in a worst-case scenario. So let's just pause here for a sec and look at the whole family umbrella. We've talked about protecting their income to keep their lifestyle going, paying off the mortgage to secure their home, and funding college to protect their kids' futures. But they realized their umbrella needed 2 more really critical layers, ones that honestly a lot of people overlook, protecting their own retirement and covering the crazy high costs of long-term care. And this is a big one. They figured out that this kind of planning isn't just for the kids. It's about protecting each other as partners. Their whole retirement plan was a shared journey, something they were building together over decades. Think about it this way. When you lose your partner, you don't just lose their income today. You lose all their future income and all their future retirement contributions too. That could completely throw the surviving partner's ability to retire off course. Life insurance can step in to fill that massive gap, making sure their shared dream of a secure retirement can still happen for the one left behind. And that brings us to the 5th and final layer of protection, which tackles a very modern reality. See, the financial risks we face aren't just about dying too soon. They're also about the incredible cost of living a long time with a serious illness. A critical illness or needing long-term care can just decimate a lifetime of savings.
But here's what they discovered. Some modern insurance policies actually let you access the money while you're still alive to cover these kinds of costs. This was a total game changer for them. It meant protecting their retirement nest egg from being drained and, this is huge, making sure their kids would never have to become financial caregivers. So, as Raj and Mira started to put all these different pieces together, they had this big realization. This wasn't just some financial transaction. The why behind it all was so much deeper. For them, this whole process wasn't some morbid exercise in planning for disaster. Far from it. It was actually an incredibly optimistic act of love. It was about taking responsibility for the beautiful life they were creating together and making sure that the people they loved would be okay no matter what happened. At the end of the day, it was about protecting their future.
And that brings the question right back to you. When you take a step back and look at the life you're building, at the people you love more than anything, and the dreams you all share, what's your umbrella? What have you put in place to shield them, come rain or come shine?